Today, we're gonna learn how to replace elastic in a dress that went bad and how to stretch and sew this elastic in the waist perfectly around in the circle. Sewing elastic in a circle can be really tricky because you don't wanna end up with all of the bunching in just one spot when you get to the end, because that's not gonna look so good. The method I'm gonna teach you today is going to be super easy and it's gonna give you a flawless look. To demonstrate this technique, I'm going to be using this plaid dress that I love, but the elastic in the waist totally is shot. It is gone. There is no stretch left in it. So of course I need to replace it, and it's in the waist, so I need to sew it in a circle. If you are replacing the elastic in an existing garment, you do need to remove the elastic that's already there. Otherwise, it's gonna be too bulky to sew into. So grab your seam ripper and take out that old elastic. So you can see I ripped out that old elastic and it is sad. It has no life left in it. Now I have some new elastic and we need to size it. So all elastic stretches differently. So I highly suggest taking this, wrapping it around your waist, your hips, wherever you need to put it, and make sure it feels comfortable on you. So we're gonna take it and just wrap it around my waist here. And then when I think it feels comfortable, feels pretty good, I'm gonna go ahead and hold that, and then I can release, and now I'm gonna cut. And I'm gonna cut exactly where it felt comfortable because there's no extra here for seam allowance because we're going to be butting up the elastic, not creating a normal seam. And if you don't know that technique, I'm gonna show you how to do that next. So to butt these ends together without any overlap, I have my machine set to a zigzag stitch. So we're going to make sure that the elastic is just butted right up to itself. We're gonna go ahead and place those two pieces together right under the center of the foot. Now the zigzag stitch is gonna go from one side to the other, and then I want you to back stitch and go all the way to the back, and then come all the way to the front. And I want you to do this a few times until it's nice and strong. If you get stuck in the machine, just lift up your foot, flatten it out, and continue. After you go over that a few times, go ahead and remove it from the machine. So now you can see we have a solid bond and there's no overlap of elastic, making it less bulky. Now that we have the elastic sewn up in the circle, it's time to get to the part I know you've been waiting for. I'm going to show you how to evenly stretch and sew this piece of elastic around in a circle, in this case, in this super cute dress. So we have this piece of elastic that's going to fit comfortably around the waist when it's stretched out, and you'll notice that the fabric is much bigger than the little circumference of our piece of elastic. So I'm going to show you how to get this piece of elastic comfortably all the way around the waist and look evenly gathered. The first thing we're going to do is divide this elastic into sections. Now my first spot is going to be where my seam is. So I'm going to go ahead and put a blue mark there, and then I'm going to take my piece of elastic, I'm going to fold it at that blue mark, and then directly across from it, the other fold is also going to get a mark. And now I'm going to take these two marks and I'm going to match them up. And now I'm going to pin the other end. So we have a mark over here. Make sure those stay lined up. And we're going to mark over here. So now I have 4 spots that I have marked with my chalk. And those are 4 perfectly divided quadrants. That's why I like to call this the quartering method. Next, we're going to do the same thing to the dress. Let me show you how. This dress just happens to be the same size front and back. So 2 of the quadrants are the side seams, and then the other one here is going to be center front of this placket. So we've got the 3 here, and now we're going to turn it over to the back. So now we need to find the center of the back waist. The easiest way to do this is line up the side seams. So we're going to take the dress and we are going to line up the side seams. So I can feel that it is over here. There we go. And now I'm going to put a mark over here, and this is directly at center back. You could fold this over twice or go ahead, measure the circumference, divide by 4, and put a mark at each one of those spots. Whatever works for you, you basically just need 4 evenly spaced spots. Now is where the magic happens. I'm going to show you how to get this elastic in that seam. So you can see I have my skirt tucked into the inside of the top of this dress, and you can see my 2 spots here for front and back, and I have my 2 side seams. So now what we're going to do is match up all the spots and pin them right together in the seam allowance that's already here for the dress. So I'm going to pin the circle of the elastic together at the circle of the waist of the dress, and I'm going to make sure that I match up these 4 points. There we go. So now we can see that I'm going to be stretching and sewing in between the pins. And you can see when I do that the elastic is evenly distributed in between each quadrant. So if I go ahead and pull that, you can see how it's going to match up. Now it's just time to sew it. And next I'm going to show you exactly how to sew that on. So I've selected the zigzag stitch and I'm starting at this first alignment point. You can start at any of them that you like. Make sure you add a few back stitches in here, secure it. And now what I want you to do is grab the next pin that you have, and we are going to hold this and stretch it and sew it down. Stop, reposition, stretch, and sew. When you get to your next pin, remove it. So you can see when we're pulling this out that the elastic is going to be the same length as the fabric when we stitch it down, and then that way when we release, it's going to be evenly gathered. So we're going to keep it fully stretched out while we're zigzagging. And you can see how that evenly gathers it up. And now I'm going to continue doing that all the way around. When you get back to where you started, just make sure you backstitch and cut. Now let's check out what we just sewed. Now you can see how nice and even the distribution of the gathers are, and it looks great if I do say so. We've got all of our points lined up, and now it's actually going to fit. Now let's take a look at it from the outside of the garment. Now you can see how evenly the gather is. It looks beautiful, gathered just enough, and now we have working elastic again. So look how beautiful it looks on the dress form here. And take a look at the back. It looks nice and even. We saved the dress. It is now ready to wear again. Replacing or putting in elastic can seem a little bit daunting, but if you take it step by step, you're going to get beautiful results. Are there any other techniques that you would like to see with elastic? Let me know. Leave it down below in the comments. And if you have any questions about this technique, leave that down below in the comments as well. And if you enjoyed the video today, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the new videos come out. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for watching today. These videos are for you guys. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all the social media, so that way we can stay connected and creative together. Don't forget, you can come on into the design studio and take classes with me in person, or you can take classes online at the Anastasia Sewing Academy. Links for those are down below in the description. And I also have a Pattern of the Month club, so make sure you check out that for more sewing adventures. Thank you so much for watching today. Bye!